And there's an urgent warning to parents with social media platform Snapchat now branching out and including an AI bot that chats with its users instantly, 24 hours, 7 days a week. Cyber safety expert Paul Litherland joins me now to talk this through. Paul, thank you for your time. If tech companies say that they can't even control these bots, why are we putting them into the hands of our children?
Oh, this is a shame. Great to speak to you, Michael. Most of these networks, sadly, have been working in this sort of realm for a number of years, just throwing stuff out there and sort of leaving it for users to sort themselves out. And I think that's pretty wrong. So trying to push, I suppose, change towards an ethical design is what we need to really address here. And simply just throwing it out there is something that really needs to be addressed, I think.
A test by the Washington Post has found that the bot was happy to chat about booze and sex with a supposed 13-year-old. That's terrifying.
Yeah, and again, one thing we always must remember, I mean, artificial intelligence is great and machine learning is awesome, but one thing we always must have at the forefront of our mind is it's not human. So these bots aren't picking up on the little idiosyncrasies that make up human nature. So the advice that might be being pumped out on sexual activity, drinking or drug use, may well be great for a 22-year-old, but it's just horribly wrong for a 12 or 13-year-old. So this needs to be really hit hard, I think.
Let's fast forward then. What long-term impacts do you think that bots like this could have on our children?
Oh, I think the long-term effects we're probably not going to see for a while yet. We've only just started to finally see some really decent impacts, statistical information from social media. So these bots in particular, we're not going to probably see much of the harms really being quantified and for another few years. So it's something we really should be concerned about and making sure that these networks are being introduced with some more decent rules in place.
A lot of interest in this, a lot of talk about it, particularly from our viewers, and Leah has been in touch. She's commented that used properly, it could be great. AI chat helped me solve issues I was having setting up a business. If the kid had a good idea, then that's great. So the question, I guess, is are there some positives to be had out of these bots?
Of course, and that's where my education is so important, to hit that balance. It's not about scaring people off the internet. If anything we use is used in moderation with the right level of knowledge and awareness, then mate, this technology is awesome. It can be used quite positively, but the problem we have is, again, there's no real rules governing the creation of these environments, and having the stuff thrown out there just to have our kids sort of lap it up in particular is quite concerning.
Back to our viewer comments. Natalie Voigt says they can't be deleted off Snapchat, or if you know how, let me know. So the question there, why is the bot so hard to delete? Is there a solution to that?
Well, unfortunately, no. You can't actually delete or deactivate the bot itself, which again is frustrating. We should have that choice, but sadly we don't have that. But just quickly on that comment, if we do jump into our camera, so go into Snapchat, go to the camera, swipe right, you can at least deactivate or turn off the bot through your feed. So at least you're not going to see all the junk coming through. But again, from my perspective as an educator, we need to be able to have those choices. And sadly, Snapchat in this instance have taken that choice away from being able to remove it. It's frustrating.
Ocean Moses Tarima had this to say. He says, I'm concerned that you're under the impression that Snapchat is a children's app. But Paul, the minimum age for Snapchat, 13. Are many kids younger than 13 downloading it and using it?
100%, mate, and across. I mean, I speak at over 490 primary schools across WA, and sadly, 36 to 42% of Year 6s, that's 11-year-olds, are using Snapchat. So, yes, and that's wrong. They shouldn't be, and I push that education very hard. But we flip back to, okay, what is Snapchat doing? Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. What are they doing to stop children underage joining their networks? And sadly, that's very little. So once again, that onus of protection is being pushed to the users and to parents to control, and I think that's holistically wrong. We need a hand.
Blaze Williams writes, apps and social media apps on your phone already gather all your data, access your location, listen to what you say, and then direct ads to you. So what data do these bots have access to? Should we be worried about that?
Oh, wow. And Blaze is 100%. I mean, data's the new currency, Michael. So if you're creating an app that's collecting data, you are going to make millions, if not billions. So what I push through my education and through my seminars is trying to get users to take control back, to not share so much data. Something as simple as turning off location when using the app, or not pumping in as much data as where you're going, what you're doing, can give us an opportunity to send a message to the networks to say we're not going to be manipulated.
And finally, Paul, we asked the AI Snapchat bot itself whether it can be trusted. It said, quote, "I think it depends on the age of the child and what kind of AI we're talking about. Some AI applications like educational games or language learning apps can be great for kids. However, it's always important for parents to monitor their children's internet usage and make sure they're using safe and appropriate apps." That's a direct quote there. Do we believe that?
Yeah, for sure. And conversations are important. We're not just throwing our kids in the deep end. Find out what they're using. If we get into their world, and social networking's not going anywhere, the internet's not going anywhere, so let's get into their world and really figure out what they're using and give them guidance.
It's a family chat waiting to be had. Paul Litherland,
100%.
thanks for your time.
Thanks, mate. All the best.